Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and it's time for me to do my annual record ranking in terms of the median price on Discogs. Been doing this for the last few years. It's kind of interesting to see where some of my records move up and down in terms of what the selling prices that the records were actually sold for according to the marketplace in Discogs. So what I'm using is the median price, all right? So that is the median price for what a record actually sold for. Has kind of very little to do with what current asking prices are. The other thing is, I may mention the high price, which would be the price that the most that a record sold for. And usually those prices tend to be influenced by other factors, such as the record may still be sealed, or it may have a signature on it, or it may be an extraordinarily limited and special pressing, that kind of thing. And even my most valuable record isn't really all that valuable because when I buy records, I'm not buying them for their collectability. I'm not buying them as investments with hopes that they will grow in price. And I also really will not spend a lot of money to buy, a record. I mean, I have what euphemistically are called grails, on my list, want list. But they are just so far out of my price range that I'm not going to buy them. Okay, I mean the original soundtrack, for example, for Evangelion is on my want list, and it's going for roughly $700. And this record was released within the last 10 years, I believe. I'm not going to pay that. No way. I might pay $100, $150 for it, but I'm not paying $700 for any record. And I know there are people who will, they want that record bad enough, they're going to pay that price. I'm not one of those persons, so my most valuable records in my collection are, they're expensive. They're more than most, but they're not, they're not huge. I have no super pricey in my collection. And then I also got my list from last year, kind of show how things have been moving up and down and the trends that have been going on. So let me pull over my records close. I'm going to start off with they're like honorable mentions. Basically, if the median price was at least $100, then I'm going to put it in my list. Anything less than that, I'm not going to. Although there were a couple records that interestingly have been going up in price for a while, and some that have been coming down. For example, the particular edition of it was the Rhino Records reissue of ZZ Top's Tres Hombres is no longer in my list. It used to be. It's now less than $100, the median price. Although I was curious that my 4 LP deluxe edition of Nirvana's Nevermind for a long time really, wasn't commanding a price much more, or it was very similar to what I paid for it brand new at the Sub Pop store But now that's up to close to $100, and the top end has gone as high as $208. So that was kind of interesting to see that that particular issue has kind of started to creep up in resale value. All right, so to get started, this one actually I think moved down a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, it moved down a little bit. And that is this particular issue of Car Seat Headrest, Teens of Denial. This was the release that has the song Just What I Needed, Not Just What I Needed, which included a reference, and I also believe a musical quote to the Cars song Just What I Needed. And but because of some dispute, that they had a deal worked out ahead of the release of this, but then something happened in terms of between the negotiations between the record companies, and so that this was pulled from release, despite the fact that many, that it had been pressed. So that is roughly $100 right now in Discogs. That's down just slightly from like $102 or whatever. However, the top end price is like close to $170. My copy would probably command that price, perhaps even a little more, because the copy is sealed, remains sealed, plus it has these initials here. Kate Wirtz initialed this copy, but I'm not reselling this. This was a very, very kind gift, and so I'm not going to flip a gift like that. I'm actually thinking about potentially getting a frame for it so that I can hang it over there, with the other record type items that I have hanging on my wall. Okay, the next one is the MoFi release of the live album The Grateful Dead, also referred to sometimes as the Skeleton and Roses album. This one actually has come down in price. Let's see. Last year it was among my top 10 with a median price of $120. That median price has come down to $100. So that's a fairly sharp decline. The top end price was $175. But it's a really super, super nice edition, and sounds really excellent. And, it does say it's an original master recording, but of course, there was the scandal with Mobile Fidelity over what really constitutes an original master recording. But anyway, this is, I got it at the retail price. Well, actually, I bought it in the secondhand market, and I think I paid $80 for it. I have an original as well that I paid like $60 for, but I have it doesn't even show up in my list as a potential contender. It's probably down around. It's still in that price range. All right, this one here is, let me see, was it even in my list last year? No, it was not. So this one has popped into the list at number 14, and that is R.E.M. Monster, an original pressing. Median price is $100 now. It has sold for as much as approximately $220. I actually managed to get this from a seller in Japan many years ago, more than 5 years ago. With shipping included, I was still paying, I think, around $60 for it. So I got a pretty nice deal on that in the current median price is $100. Okay. And then at number 13, this used to be in my top 10 for a couple of years, but it's dropped, and that is this one by Marillion, Brave. Currently about $108, $109 is the median price for this. Again, I bought this at a retail price of whatever it was going for, at the time, so it was probably somewhere around $25 to $30. So it has gone up. However, and it's still kind of going up, all right? Because last year, let's see, it was right around $100, and it had been going up slightly each year. Now it's going for about $109 as the median price. So this one seems to continue to grow in resale value. All right, next one is this box set, which used to be in my top 10 last year, but it is not anymore. And that is this Warbox set. It was a Record Store Day release, and it's a really, really good, excellent box set. The albums just sound wonderful. And it contains pretty much all the records prior to Eric Burdon. And let's see, this year the median price is about $110. And last year, however, it was about $120. So price is coming down on this one. And still more than what I paid for it, which was, I think it was $90 or $95 at the time of release for Record Store Day. So still have that. Still, a good deal, so to speak, with that. Now, this next one is almost made it into the top 10, and it's a new entry. And it's really escalated in price since its release. And that is this Rhino high fidelity, limited edition release of the Cars debut. All right, so this is when they started, entering the sort of high fidelity marketplace. And so this was really a great record to pick up for whatever that release price was, which was very, very reasonable. But since release, all right, it is now the median price is $112, and it is sold for as much as $180. So I mean, mine is still in really near mint condition, so I could probably get close to that $180 if I wanted to resell this. So this was a really good purchase, in that, and it is a really excellent sounding record. I had, like others, really high hopes about future releases that Rhino would do on the high fidelity market level, and I've been disappointed with their offerings ever since. It's just, I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that, it's difficult for them to get, the master tapes or whatever, or to negotiate royalties and all, and the rights and all that kind of thing. With some records, those rights are entangled in a lot of legal processes. But man, some of the quote unquote, remastered high fidelity re-releases of previous records, leave a lot to be desired. I mean, who needs, I can't even think of one right now, but it's like, why? There are so many other records that would really, really benefit from a high fidelity remastering and a high quality audio file release. But the ones they keep picking are just, to me, ridiculous. All right, now we're going to get into the top 10. And this one is one that has dropped, I believe. No, it's actually gone up in value slightly. And that is the Beatles' White Album. This is the mono reissue from, 2014? Yeah. And it is going for roughly, the median price is roughly $114, $115. In the past, it was about $100, so it's gone up slightly. And it's just under $200 at the top end. So this was, of course, this was when it was sold separately as opposed to being part of that big mono box set, the Beatles mono box set, which, if you didn't get one of those when it was first released, holy crap, are you gonna, that whole box set is like crazy price. All right. Next one is this Frank Zappa, the true first pressing of in New York. This, of course, is the release that had to be recalled because of the song, primarily because of the song Punky's Whips, which was removed, even though it had been sent out for retail, mostly in Europe. And it was recalled because the record companies, so the record company representing the band Angel, who Punky Meadows was a member of, sued or threatened to sue or something like that with Warner Brothers. So they decided to pull the records that were already released. And of course, some of them had been sold. And I suspect some retailers did not send all of them back. I don't know how many are actually in circulation, but, it may be as high as 1,000, but I doubt that. It's probably somewhere around 500 or less. But it has been a somewhat pricey album to find, and its prices remain steady. Right now, it's around $126 is the median price for this, which is similar to what it was last year. But last year also the price was going down, so now it's kind of stabilized. The highest price it's ever sold for was $500. But I was fortunate to, right now at $126, that is, if I remember, slightly less than what I bought mine for. So who knows, this could be a situation where over the years, I will have paid more money than the resale value turns out to be for it. But anyway, I got it. So that was number 9. Number 8 is a Neil Young record, and that is this one here, Psychedelic Pill. And Psychedelic Pill last year was number 11. So it has been slightly going up in price. Median price this year is $128, roughly. And last year it was about $110. So it's been going up slightly. So who knows if that trend will continue. But yeah, we're a very good record. And I don't think it was necessarily a limited edition. Maybe it was, but it was kind of a special edition. All right, so next one. This one has, through the years, remained in my top 10, and it is now number 7. And last year it was, let me see, where's my list from last year? Where is it? There it is. It was number 5. And so it's now number 7, and it's the Magical Mystery Tour mono release again. That was part of that big mono box set, but it was also sold separately. Current median is $130, so it's been coming down in price. It was $147 last year, the median price, and the median price was rising at that time, but now it is coming down. So around $130 for that one. Okay. Number 6 this year, and last year it was number 10. And so, yes, the price is continuing to go up on this Gong box set that includes the Radio Gnome Invisible Trilogy, 3 LPs. It's a really sweet box set with a lot of the original materials, booklets, etc. going in there. And this year, it is roughly $133 is the median price. And last year it was about $120. I got mine for $60. So yeah, the trend appears to continue upward. Apparently there's some controversy about this that, the band has been saying, please don't buy this because they don't get any money for it for whatever reason. But anyway, I was really surprised when I saw it in a store for $60. I thought this was great because to buy those, the original, first 3 records in that, the band and in that trilogy, would have cost considerably more. All right, next one at number 5 is one that I had been looking for a long time, and I picked it up a couple of years ago. This is Wrong by No Means No, the Canadian post-punk band. This is an original on the Alternative Tentacles label, which right now they are, median price is roughly $152, which is actually less than what I paid for it. I paid $169 for this. And the top end is around $200. This has been coming down in price, I believe. If I look at from last year, last year it was number 3 and $155. Now it's about $152. There is a reissue that has been released, but I really wanted an OG, and it really sounds excellent. And even though it's could be picked up for less than what I paid for it, I really do love this record, and I don't regret at all getting it. All right, now this next one is a new one because it's a new acquisition within the last year, and I've wanted to get one because I really snoozed when this was released, and because it was released in 2020, and it just immediately, which happens with some anime soundtracks, especially for anime series, not so much for anime films, but the soundtracks for anime series tend to very quickly escalate in price because they're generally fairly limited runs. And that is this one, Death Note, which on this very cool black and white marble type vinyl. Death Note is at number 4. The retail median price right now on Discogs is about $154. It's sold for as much as $240. And what did I pay for it? I paid roughly the same, right around $150 for this. And we'll see what the trend is in terms of this. This is actually a really great record because a lot of times soundtracks, the individual songs, they don't necessarily flow together well because of the nature of a soundtrack. Each each song or item, is reflecting something that may be going on visually, and so it's there to enhance the storytelling, so to speak. But this soundtrack, the from song to song, flows really well, and they're not shortcuts of like 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. Some of the songs are full length songs, and it is really, really quite good. It's the original score by Hideki Taniguchi and Yoshihisa Hirano, that Tiger Lab label. So yeah, I am really glad that I finally got it. Although, man, I still am annoyed that when it was first released, I didn't jump on it and get it. Because, man, just like that, it started going up in price. All right, now, number 3. And this one was actually number 2 last year. The price was going down last year from previous years, and it's still going down, but it's my number 3 record this year, and that is the Mobile Fidelity release of Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited. And you'll notice it just says Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, so it's not from an original master, but it's a really, really high quality 45 RPM release, and it really is just absolutely fantastic sounding. And it's down to $155 for the median price. Last year when I did this, the median price was $170. So that's a fairly significant drop in price. And last year, the top price was $400, but now it says $350. I don't know why the highest price listed that it ever sold for would come down, because once it's sold for that, I don't understand, it should stay the same as the high price until a higher price. It sells for a higher price, but whatever. So yeah, the trend with this one is the price is coming down. Okay, then at number 2 this year, and it was number 4 last year, the trend is the price is going up. And that is with this one, the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. This is in the original master recording, label. So I don't know how legit that is, if it really was determined to be an original master recording. But yeah, Freewheelin' is, the median price is now $160. And last year, Freewheelin' last year was $150 was the median price at the time. And close to $320 is the top price paid for it. And, my copies are still very much near mint. So, theoretically, I could probably ask close to that top price and potentially get it if I wanted to sell it. But I really do love these even though this is the 45 RPM, you got to get up and flip the record all the time. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just because the sound quality is so dang wonderful. All right, so we're now up to number 1, which was also number 1 last year. And the price was coming down last year, and it's still kind of trending down. Last year, this is a box set, and last year it was, the median price was $310. It's now just under $300 at about $293. The top price about $440, and that is the Steven Wilson Yes box set, which I got from Amazon when it was released for, I think, $93. Right around there. So really absolutely excellent remastering by Steven Wilson, and just brilliant sound. and packaging and pressing, just everything about it really is quite excellent. But yeah, the price is gradually coming down, or has been at least for the past couple years, but it's still, my most valuable item, in my collection. So there you have it. It's my latest update in terms of the most valuable items in my collection. Like I say, nothing of any extraordinary value because I number one, really won't pay huge amounts of money for something, even something that I really want. Nor have I been that fortunate to, for whatever reason, receive a gift either directly from an artist or from someone else, or just find an extraordinary deal on an extraordinarily rare record that suddenly became very sought after and ridiculously priced. Not that fortunate, but hey, these are all records that I like, and I always, and I wanted them when I bought them, and I wanted them, especially with, for example, the mobile Fidelity ones, or whatever remastering, for that particular release. It was the one I wanted. So, and for the most part, I was lucky enough to get them at the time of release before the prices started to go up. So, hey, leave a comment in the Down Under. Appreciate getting those comments. You can find me on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE 76. I also have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo that you can check out content there. Not just my videos from here, but also other music-related content. So, hope you have a great new year here in 2024. It's going to be a weird one. I really think so. It's going to be a weird one in many, many ways. And remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.